This happened to me when I was 8 years old, and it still haunts me to this day. I remember waking up one night to the sound of my little brothers running into my room, screaming about seeing a man outside their window. Their names were Jake and Matthew, and they were a year younger than me. Our parents were on a weekend business trip at the time, so it was just us in the house, meaning I had to be the man of the house and investigate. I grumbled as I got out of bed, only to fall right back into it. I was just too tired to bother with the overactive imaginations of two 7-year-olds. This wasn't the first time they'd seen things outside their window which turned out to be nothing. But my brothers were very persistent this time. They grabbed me by the hand and pulled me out of bed, then led me back to their bedroom. Our bare feet creaked loudly along the floorboards with every step we took as I yawned, trying to keep my eyes open. Once we made it to their room, I looked around. They only had one window which faced the wooded area surrounding our house. I looked out the window, but saw no one. "There's nobody there now, so just go back to sleep," I said, determined to get back in bed. My little brothers did as they were told, though it was obvious they were still a bit scared, and I went back to my room. A few minutes later, the boys came running back, screaming that the man had returned. Once more, I got out of bed and went back to the window. I was starting to get ticked off at this point. I wasn't mad at my brothers for being scared, but I was mad at this imaginary intruder for scaring my brothers and keeping me awake. I know I should have taken the situation more seriously, but being the dumb kid I was, I decided to do something a little more reckless. I then sat down in front of the open window and motioned for my brothers to sit beside me. Whoever this guy is, he picked the wrong house to rob. The next time he shows his face, we're gonna kick him as hard as we can. That'll teach him not to mess with us. Dead as I lay down flat on my back and raised both of my feet off the floor, then placed them on the windowsill. My brothers did the same, and all three of us stayed in that position, waiting silently for the man to return. I didn't think the man was real, of course. I just wanted to prove to my brothers that there was nothing to be afraid of. A few seconds later, my heart sank when I heard leaves crunching outside as someone was approaching. No way, I thought, trying to rationalize that what I was hearing was just a wild animal or something. But sure enough, a grown man appeared in front of the open window, giving us all a good look at his face. In the end, neither of us kicked. We were all frozen with fear at the sight which greeted us. The man had pale skin, long dark hair, and piercing bloodshot eyes. He was dressed all in black, and his face was covered in scars, making him look like a deranged serial killer. We all trembled on the floor, too scared to move or look away. The man himself was also surprised when our eyes met for the first time. He glanced between the three of us, completely speechless. And who could blame him? He wasn't expecting three little boys to be waiting for him on the other side of the window, lying flat on their backs with their bare feet raised in the air, ready to kick. The whole situation was just really bizarre, and after a few seconds of eerie silence, the man finally smiled, revealing a pair of sharp, pointy teeth. We gasped in fear, wondering if this guy was even human. Then, without warning, he launched his head forward with his mouth wide open, like he was going to bite us. We all screamed at the top of our lungs and yanked our feet away just as his teeth snapped shut. He missed us by a split second, and we weren't about to let him try again. Me and Matthew scrambled to our feet and bolted out the room. Jake, however, took a little longer to get up, and the man was able to grab his ankles. Looking over my shoulder, I could see Jake screaming as he was being lifted in the air by his ankles, dangling upside down as the man opened his mouth again, ready to take a bite. I rushed back and punched the man right in the jaw, making him let go of my brother, then slammed the window shut and locked it. The man grumbled in annoyance but ran off into the woods. We never saw him again after that, and we never told our parents what happened. Not like they'd believe us anyway. I don't know if that guy was ever caught, but from that point on, I always made sure to check on my brothers whenever they say they heard something outside.